What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be reviewing Transformers Prime Voyager Class Optimus Prime. I am really excited for this review, and I'm just so happy to get my hands on this figure. Because, for those of you that do know this, I feel like that I'm not sure if I've made reference to this, but Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise was my first ever Transformer series that I got into. I was young back then, and it was just around the time that the first Transformer movie came out, and Transformers Prime had come out like a year after, I'm pretty sure. And it actually was not the Bayverse that pulled me into Transformers, but it was the Transformer Prime series. I fell in love with the designs, the figures, the movie itself, the plot, the characters, everything. I loved Transformers because of Transformers Prime. So, recently back, like 3 to 4 years ago, I ran through the entire series, watched the entire movie again, and it is peak Transformer mainstream media. It is so good. Transformers Prime still beats out any series. I am a diehard Transformers Prime fan. It still beats out majority of seasons of series and stuff like that. Animated, whatever, just take it. Transformers Prime is incredible. One of the best series, period. So, but that's my opinion. That is my opinion, and we're not going to be talking about that today. Today we're going to be talking about the Prime guy himself, Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime series. I am so excited for this review. And so this figure, I believe, is about 15 years old. I'm not sure. The Transformers Prime series was either released in 2008 or 07. I can't remember exactly. But I know that this figure was probably released a couple of years after the series, so I would say a minimum of 10 years old. And this guy still holds up unbelievably well, even compared to that of modern Voyager classes. So let's get right into the review. So, before we even start talking about this guy, let's start talking about his accessories. So he does come with this, which for those of you that did watch the show, you will remember that this oddly resembles either the Star Saber, which you could go with, you could say it's the Star Saber, or the sword that came out of his arm. Genuinely, Optimus Prime in the show had a sword that came out of his forearm right here, and the blade looks oddly reminiscent of that design. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a Star Saber or not, or if it's supposed to be that, but either way, it's a pretty cool sword design. I have a little critique about it later, but we'll talk about that in a second. But he comes with this, just, some gray plastic. It's pretty well molded, pretty nice. It's a cool sword. That's pretty much it, just a cool sword. And then, oh goodness. Oh, also sorry if my voice sounds a little bit weird. I am having my throat attacked by the cold, I think. I don't even know anymore. Anyways, though, as you can tell, he does have this little hunk of blue plastic. This is the return of a gimmick. I love gimmick Transformers. They're neat as long as they don't. If they mess up the figure, I don't like gimmicks. But gimmicks like this, I legitimately do kind of like. I wish that there was a lock-in feature. Well, I'll show you first. So, I think that there is, as you can tell, there is a battery that goes into it. I'm not 100% sure what happens because I have yet to put the battery in. If I put the battery in there and can get it to work, whatever it does, I'll make a short about it, basically. So, as you can tell, you just grab this right here, and blam. This turns into a gun. So, the cool thing is that this is almost a one-for-one copy of the forearm cannon that Optimus had in the series. So, as I said earlier, something in this series that they did really well was that they had built-in weapons. So, pushing him off to the side, Legacy Bulkhead carries that very well. He has a built-in weapon that makes it look like that he comes out of his arm. See? Like that. Going down to the breakdown mold, he also has a hammer. See? So, definitely cool that they were able to somewhat incorporate that into a gimmick toy. Now, I wish that this part was not as big, and I wish that this locked in, because if you had that locked in, and that was gone, you could easily tab that into the arm, and actually have it kind of look like the show. But otherwise, it's just much too big, and this gets in the way too much. So usually what I do is that I just tab it, I just take it off. I hate it because he can't really hold it. There's no kind of holding it for him. You can put it in the truck mode, but otherwise, just put it off to the side. It's fun to mess with, and if I can figure out a way to, I don't know. But the gun isn't necessarily bad. It's just kind of meh. Like I said before, I would have much rather it been able to lock into place. This had been smaller, and to actually cup over the arm. Like, I think this would have had like a really good potential because the mold for it looks pretty close to the show. Actually, if it was smaller and this was not as large, I could actually tab it into the forearm and make it look like the show. So that was my point about that. The accessories are okay, and then my one critique with the sword is basically that it's a sword. Not once in the series did he ever use an actual sword, apart from the Star Saber. And if this is supposed to be the Star Saber, that's kind of sad, because it's very small, and there's no paint on it, but whatever. I would have really enjoyed it if they could have, like, tabbed it, like, here. If they could have tapped it here, I think that would have been cool. Or have it like this, and it tab in like that. Because the blade looks exactly like the one from the series that would just eject out of his arm. Now, I did find a way to cheat it, and you may see that in the photos in the very beginning. Well, I guess something you could do is this. You could semi-do that, but that's kind of stupid, never mind. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, you can kind of cheat it, though, and get it to look like the series, like it's coming out of his arm, by just flicking his hand up like that and putting it into the bottom. It's a real tight joint there, and then like that. So it's kind of awkward looking, but you can do it. I don't know. It's not good. That part is not good at all, but you can kind of fake it, like, in certain angles, like, it looks like it's coming straight out of his arm. Like that. Like, that looks pretty good. That looks okay. That looks okay. Yeah, you can fake it, and I'm okay with that. It's not perfect, obviously, and I feel like that with a little bit of modification, you could probably get it in there, but, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Now let's go ahead and pull out his accessories, and let's get into the mold and the articulation. So let's go ahead and pull them up here and get into that very prime style head sculpt. And let's just go ahead and make him look up at the camera. So, a very well done head sculpt. It is actually really well painted. Like there's silver inside of the blue grates vents right here. The ears aren't painted any. The back of the head is clear, so that there is some kind of light piping. As you can see, there is some kind of light piping going on there. The chest is decked out in this wonderful blue plastic, which looks so sick. I love that inner design that they have going on there. It just looks so cool. Going down to the torso, see you have a lot of show accurate bits going on there. The legs are real nice. Insides are hollow, but not too bad, not too bad. And there's a lot of mechanical detail going on inside, so I can forgive it. Going on to the sides, this is extremely accurate to the show. This looks almost exactly like the show does. I don't really care for the transparent blue that much, but this does not feel fragile any because it's not squeaking. There's no kind of, this feels like very good plastic. Like there's some transparent plastic that scares me, but this transparent plastic and this transparent plastic have always felt very secure. I have never been worried about this Megatron, not once, and this guy does not feel worrisome at all. Only thing that scares me is that that's on a hinge, and it's not a friction, it's a pin, thank God. But regardless, a little bit scary, but I'm glad that it's on a pin, not a friction, as I said. Got some silver on the chest going on there, not been custom painted, that's actual silver they applied. Going down to the legs, some sick details back here, we got the traditional 2 wheels on the side. Going up the back now, you do have some back kibble, but it's not bad, and I like it for one. Because it tabs in real nice, like this part is really secure, and then everything else does not flip down. Now these little panels right here are pretty loose. But I think that is just because it's an older copy, and I did get mine used, which I bought this from False Prime, by the way. He's actually somebody that's been doing stop motion, met him on Macari, and I'm going to link his stuff down below, because he actually took the effort, he took some extra photos for me and all that, and it was a great experience shopping from the guy. I mean, legitimately, he has some really good deals going on. I think he has like a YOLO Park, G1 Optimus, Bumblebee Shockwave, and a Gamer Studio Series Edition Ratchet. So if you're interested in buying any of those, I would recommend checking them out. This is the only thing that I bought from him so far, but he was quick with the shipping. It got here almost immediately, and it is in great condition. There's not a paint scratch anywhere. It's loose, but honestly, things get loose over time. There's a lot of ball joints on this thing. It's going to be loose. Even gave me some tips on how to tighten up the ball joints. So definitely great experience when it came to buying this. So let's get back into the Optimus. So speaking of loose ball joints, we're going to be getting right into the articulation. So let's start with the head. So the head can look down that much, which is a really good view, really good range. Can look up that much, again, really good range. You can get a head tilt, a slight head tilt. It can go all the way around, which is really, really nice. You do have that, your arm can go out that much, but due to the way it transforms, you can untab this and get a little bit more. You just gotta fake it, which I'm okay with this range of motion. This is not bad. The arm can go all the way around without untabbing anything, which is real nice. You do have a 90 at the elbow. You do have a bicep swivel. You do have kind of a weird butterfly joint thing just because of the way the ball joint's made. So he can definitely get in some real close chest poses, which is real nice. Due to transformation, you can have the arm do this, which is kind of nice sometimes, especially when you want to hold something like that. It's not too bad. No kind of waist articulation. Now, I believe that you could nope, I'm wrong. We're just going to not transform that yet. I'm just a slight dummy. And now nothing's want to tab back in. There we go. That was weird. Alright. Just got to pose them back up. Anyways, articulation. Legs can go up about that much. Due to the back cable, they can only go back that much, which is perfectly fine. Legs can go out that much. So you can almost... Now you're seeing the problem right now, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Legs can go out that much. You do have a little over 90 at the knee. You do have a thigh swivel. You do have a toe tilt, you do have a foot tilt right here due to transformation. That can go that far back, that much up. Well, actually, if you did this all the way up, you could potentially get more. No, I'm wrong. Anyways, though, and then due to the way that this transforms, you do have a slight ankle pivot. So you would not have an ankle pivot naturally, but because of the way it transforms, you can move this whole assembly to that. And because it's on a ball joint, you can also get this. So, yeah. Legitimately, this guy poses really, really well. Like, you can get him into some low poses pretty easily. You can get him in some swinging poses pretty easily. He is just a fun transformer to mess around with. And he's just so much fun to mess with. Genuinely worth the buy. And because of the way that the foot's made, you can definitely get him into some pretty cool poses. Let's see if he can hold this. Come on, hold it, Prime. Hold it. There it is. You can get him into some decent running poses, which is something that I can not say for most figures. Imagine holding a sword. Looks very, very awesome. And oh man, I love this guy. So, the one problem that I do have right now is that the legs are just super duper loose, but as I said, that's not because of the mold. That's not because of the seller. That is just because of the age of it. All of the problems that I do have are ball jointed related, so that's easy to fix. Nail polish, floor, whatever it is. You can fix that kind of easily, so I'll probably end up fixing that. But otherwise, this is really good articulation. The only articulation that is missing is a wrist swivel and a waist swivel. That is it. There's nothing else. Not a single bit of articulation that is missing. You have ankle tilt, you have a thigh swivel, you have a bicep swivel, you have a wrist in and out pretty much. The arms can move around great. It is awesome, and legitimately of modern Voyager classes, it's up there. Like, let's just kind of pull in Legacy Breakdown. This was actually a figure that released not too long ago. So this is actually one of the newer Voyager classes. But the only thing that this guy has over Prime is a wrist swivel and a waist swivel. That is it. That's it. And that is amazing for a figure of this size, one, and two, this to be this old. Like, pulling in, I think this would be like first edition Megatron here, which has also been customized, by the way. As you can tell, they look so good together. They scale well together. This is how it looks in the show. These guys are so good next to each other. This guy does not have a bicep swivel. He has a weird forearm swivel. He doesn't have any ankle tilt. His head doesn't move around that much. Like I said, there's a lot of things that this guy does not have that this guy does. Legitimately, the differences are insane here. I don't know how he got so much, but he got so little. It's nuts. But both of them are great figures, and they look so good next to each other. Anyways, as you can tell, that was him next to some Prime figures. Here he is next to Legacy Bulkhead, which I'm not sure. I think that this scaling is kind of accurate to the show, because Bulkhead was shorter than Prime, but he was a whole lot fatter. This matches, I think, and I think it looks pretty good. Now, Knockout here. I think that's a pretty accurate scale, because Prime did tower over Knockout. And considering that the truck he turns into, I think it's pretty accurate, so. And then, obviously, going back here, here's Megatron. Just kind of a height profile real quick. They do match up quite well. Obviously, both of them have their kibble and all that, but very, very awesome. Now, let's go ahead and get into the transformation. So, to say that, though, real quick, going back to the back kibble, this kibble's not bad, because legitimately, there's not a good way to do this. I can't think of the name of it, but the only figure that I have seen that actually does no kibble is like one that's about $300. I got this for about $40, I believe, at the end of it, which is a really good price. This, by the way, thank you, False Prime, for that again. Got a really good price for this, and the articulation is amazing. The paint is awesome. This is not going to be one I customize, most likely, because it's already pretty much perfect. The gray is not boring like some other people. Like, this Megatron's gray is very boring. This Optimus, his gray is not boring at all. It still is borderline silver, and inside of the gray, there's almost shiny bits, like, of detail and all that. It's so cool, and the little yellow highlights right here. Oh, man, it's just so cool. Definitely, apart from Transformers 1 Optimus, definitely one of my favorite Optimuses. He's probably top 3, if not first. Legitimately. I have not messed with an Optimus that is more fun than him. Now, let's go ahead and get into the transformation. So, he does have a really intuitive, fun, and easy transformation. It's complex, it gets the job done, but it's fun. So, first thing what we're going to do is that we are going to go down here to the legs. And there you have Optimus Prime in his truck mode. Oh boy, and I just untasseling when I did that. Not gonna lie, this has been a difficult review because I'm out of breath. My lungs and my throat hurts. So, out of breath. Anyways though, this is Optimus Prime's truck mode, and it is awesome. It looks just like the show. Looks like it got ripped straight off the screen. And this is just such an awesome Optimus Prime truck mode. The cab is big. It's really, really nice. I think that the back is a little bit unproportional compared to the front. If there was a way to make this just a tiny bit longer, I wouldn't mind that. But for what it is, Voyager class, getting it for $40, this is awesome. For this to be 10 years old, this is a really good level of transformation. It's very involved. It's not too complex. You can definitely do it as a younger kid, but it's a transformation that you won't appreciate until you've transformed a lot of other Transformers. The way that it does it is so sick. And kind of talking about some other Optimuses, something that almost 70% of Optimus figures fail at, even the Commander class Studio Series 86 Optimus, is the back of the truck. This has an incredible back. This looks so good. The silver on the hitch, I don't like this section very much. I wish that this may have been a little bit red or somehow, but it fills in. There's no gaps. No gaps on the side. You can even see some details in there. Some details there behind the wheels. These are pinned on wheels, by the way, so they roll like a dream. He does roll very, very well. As you can tell, we still got that very nice blue mechanical detail. Got that bright red Autobot logo on the front. Yellow hot headlights. Love that. You just can't get better than it. And you got all these little motor details. The actual stairs going up to it. It's real nice. Smokestacks, which are small, soft plastic, but they haven't warped any, so I don't have a lot of concern for them. And they're more inserts, which is really nice. Anyways, that is it for his vehicle mode. This thing is so awesome. Here's the underside. As you can tell, you do see his head down there, little meep. But it's very tight, and everything's just close-knit. Everything tabs in well. It's a very nice figure. Now, bringing in some size comparison, here is the Les Class Legacy Knockout. Here is Legacy Breakdown. Here is Legacy Bulkhead, which is the same mold as Breakdown. And here is Legacy Prime Megatron. So, going back to the show, that's pretty size accurate, honestly. Because if you remember this, Optimus absolutely trucked Megatron in the head while he was in his alt mode one day. And he filled up his entire chest. So I think this is a pretty accurate scale, but that is it. Alright, now you do have some kind of weapon storage, as all things should do. And it is not the best. So the instructions, I believe, have everything tabbed onto the back, which is just incredibly ugly. And that's pretty much how you do it. You just tab everything onto the back, which now you still do have the gun mode active, which is kind of cool. Now, I am curious, though, if there's a way to almost cover the back end of this. Like, could you solidify this? It would have been cool if they would have made it to where you could have tabbed this in, and it just, like, fell out the bottom. That would have been nice. Or, even better, if this could have tabbed into the bottom right here, like that, maybe? Maybe we can oh, you can. Okay, well, there you go. You have sword storage. That's nice. So you do have sword storage, surprisingly, because of the way that this transforms down here. If you put the blade right here, and this between that little section, you do have sword storage, which does fall out easily. But it is there if you want it. Anyways, though, that is it for this review. I'm going to go ahead and close out on this one because my body is tired, my throat hurts, and my lungs feel like they're about to explode. I hope that y'all have a great day and that y'all have enjoyed this review. That's very awkward back there. That y'all have enjoyed this review. That is it for the Transformers Prime Voyager class, Optimus Prime. Basically, it's a really good figure if you can get your hands on it. People have scalped it for way too much, and credit all goes to False Prime for helping me get it. Dude was absolutely monumental when it came to his help, that he was willing to talk about the price, that he has a lot of good offers on his site. Dude's really good. So I'll put his link down below. I hope that y'all enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if y'all liked it. I'll see y'all next time. God bless. Time to roll out.